welcome back to another session of Trial Watch with DEMETRA, best of Trial Watch with DEMETRA, here on the Trial Watch with DEMETRA channel. Home of the Lit Lane Jury Box. Welcome back to the Jury Box, M. Renee. Welcome back to the Jury Box, Miss Step 219. Welcome to the Lit Lane Jury Box, Mary Carey. Let's see here. Welcome back to the Lit Lane Jury Box, Winter, the bailiff. Okay. Hey, Tracy Whitehead. Welcome back to the jury box. You guys have been let me put my tooth in. Hey, Kurt Vixen. Good evening, Jill's Comfort Zone. Welcome back to the Lit Lane Jury Box. One moment. Okay, now that I fixed my speech impediment, where was I? Is the sound going in and out? Hold on. Let's see. Let's check the audio here. And let me do this. All right. Welcome back to the jury box. I saw Kurt Vixen come in. Welcome back. Living my best life OG. Another one of the Lit Lane bailiffs. Jill's Comfort Zone. Welcome back. Betty Boop. Welcome back. Oh, y'all have shown up for duty, and court is absolutely in session. Okay. Good evening, Lady Steph. I see y'all all understand that the tardy and absence hold break is over. I see. Thank you. No, I had to go get my I had to go get something, child. I had to go get something so I wouldn't be whistling through my teeth. Okay. So welcome back. Today is part 2. We have started our first official trial watch of 2025, and it is the state of Georgia versus Melody Farris. Okay. The state of Georgia versus Melody Farris. Now, this case is not a death penalty case. The charges is felony murder and malicious murder, and then some other smaller charges. Let me put the recap up here. So far, what we've watched on yesterday, part 1, is that we saw the opening statements from the prosecution side and, of course, the defense side. It was pretty much a general consensus, a general majority consensus here that the prosecution put a better or more smoother, more put out a better opening statement. The defense didn't do a bad job, but he had a way of not being as engaging. Both of them presentations, they visuals and stuff like that. Everybody said both of them was pretty good. Another factor about this case is that it is a true whodunit. It is a true whodunit because in this case, Melody Farris, our defendant, is accused of unaliving her husband of 38 years, Gary Farris. What we've learned so far, one moment, I don't know why I can't get it. Okay. So, before we get started tonight, we got the Farris family tree. Okay. Up to the left is the victim, unalive Gary Farris. Okay. In 2018, somewhere around July 3rd, between like the 3rd and the 5th, they're not certain of the date, the state of Georgia is alleging that his wife of 38 years, Melody Farris, that's her up to the top right, the matriarch of the family, they saying that at some point in time she shot him, took his body, placed it, and burnt it on a burn pile there on their property. Now, Gary Farris was a very prominent and affluent, well-off attorney. The family definitely had money. He had money. He controlled the purse. We found out that even though they had been married for 38 years at the time where he lost his life and had 4 adult children and a couple of grandkids, that everything wasn't picture perfect. We found out that there had been affairs, extramarital affairs on both sides of the relationship. We found out that they had pretty much started living a marriage. I would call it like a marriage in name only, or a marriage of convenience. Okay, a marriage out of this what we've been doing, so this is keep doing it. They had been, it was stated yesterday that they had been actually sleeping separately and living kind of separately, but in the same house since the 90s. Okay, so that's the situation with the marriage. So it's a true whodunit, marital problems, reasonable doubt comes into this case, because guess what? In this case, the defendant is claiming she absolutely did not do anything. It's not a matter of they caught her and whether it was on purpose or not on purpose. Hey, Renee, you're late, but you came in early, so I guess you were trying to fix girl. But Melody is saying that she absolutely didn't do anything. She didn't kill him. She had nothing to do with it. And so they have to prove, the state have to prove that she did it. Now, the who done it part of it is reasonable doubt is the defense side has already, just in the courts, no one has testified yet, just in the opening statements, they have already opened the door to reasonable doubt and start laying the blame and the murder on the son, Scott Farris. Okay? Or is it Chris Farris? So you got Chris Farris over there to the left. You got Scott Farris. You got Emily Farris, but paying now. That's the daughter, oldest daughter. And then you got Amanda Farris. Oh, y'all know it's only giving notifications on this channel. So make sure y'all reset the bell, okay? And I'm gonna make sure I share it on the Lit Lane wall too. And I'm gonna make sure y'all may have to come hit the bell for when I set it up and schedule it. That way y'all can make sure y'all get them. Okay. Oh, okay, Renee. Okay, so it's a lot of family drama. Last night, they kind of, the jury box pretty much kind of made the correlation between their story and everything going on in it, like with something like Dallas or Dynasty or something, right? So, okay, that was the breakdown. Okay. So that's what we ended yesterday. Yesterday, we took a poll and the jury box voted that if they had to place a verdict or make a verdict based on nothing but what we saw yesterday, part 1, the opening statements, it was something like 75% voted not guilty, 25% voted guilty. Okay. So we're going to be polling the jury box to see where we at. And of course, too, I think another thing we're going to do in the evenings at the end of it, before we adjourn, I think that we should maybe discuss, so I can keep track of the main things that we got that night, like what the standout testimony, what we think or what you guys think is the standout information testimony that we got in that particular night. So that's gonna be something new that we add, and I'm gonna have I'm gonna keep like a little ticker saying like the different things. Okay, facts of the case. Okay, don't be calling for my head already. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this this reaction. Of course, we're doing this under fair usage. I call myself being prepared tonight. Okay. Oh, shout out to Miss Steph 219, baby. Miss Steph 219 has absolutely gotten her Lit Lane Jury Box coffee mug, and it looks excellent. Okay, thank you guys for supporting the merch. I did say, oh, I didn't share. I didn't push post. I did say hold off on you guys' merch orders for a moment. Let me get that other that account back straight. I think I keep saying we'll talk about that later. But hold off on the merch now. But Steph 219 got her coffee mug, her Lit Lane Jury Box coffee mug, and it looks fabulous, just like them Bantu knots, okay? Just like them Bantu knots. Beautiful. All right, hold on. Talking about removing me from the bench. Hold on, I am not recusing myself. One moment. Let me see what my son wants. He just got home. I am not then. I'm not listening to none of that. But let's get started. So we're gonna start off with the very first witness of the night for the prosecution. Okay, let me take Miss Steph down. Boom. State of Georgia versus Melody Farris. I guess her first name is actually Amanda, but they call her Melody.
Y'all can decide whether y'all want the mobile lectern to stay there or whether y'all want to get rid of it. The last trial, everybody used both of them. So.
It's good, Joseph. We keep it. You know, the first exhibit is going to be, it's labeled 911-1 for 911.
Okay, Tracy, we're starting off. Okay, Tracy, I'm going to get on top of that tomorrow. First up is the 911 call. Let me be quiet.
July 5th, 2018. At 12:47 p.m. It's about 2 minutes and 21 seconds, and it's Scott Farris. And Judge, I tune in that and this time by stipulation. All right. May I publish it? It's 911 and then 1 in parenthetical.
Okay. Sure would be offered by you. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. No, good.
Y'all agree to the foundation anymore?
Uh, 2155 or so, Blaine. My father has come up missing, and we just searched the property. It's a small farm, and I just found something near the fire that doesn't. He was burning brush. Now there's nothing to fire that. It could be him. I don't know.
Okay. All right, sir. What's Purcell Lane run off of?
It's right off of Birmingham Road.
You said 2155 Purcell Lane, that's correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is your name?
Scott Farris, Farris.
What's a good callback number for you, Scott?
404-861-2667.
How old is you said your father?
Yes, sir.
How old is
he just turned 68 on the 68, yeah.
68, okay.
Okay, so he was 68. I didn't know yesterday.
Now I'm calling you to say that we've been walking around looking for him, and I went where the fire's still smoldering, and I'm ex-military. I was deployed to Iraq. I've seen what burned up bodies look like, and this looks like a body.
Okay. right, sir. I've got him on the way out there for you. I'm going to send the police and the fire department out there. Just try and lead everything that you can, the way you found it down there, and we've got him on the way out there for you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else I can do for you, sir?
No, that'll be it.
All right, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say, oh, Sarah Love. Sarah Love.
I have got to interject right here. Now, I'm doing way better on my commentary, okay? But I have to say before, well, let me let her walk in and while I'm saying this, I guess. But what do we think about that 911 call? That 911 call was very suspicious to me, right? So if your father is missing, that's already word for a reason to be kind of worried. Now, I understand about saying cool under pressure, staying calm, because I hate when they be all crazy and not just, you know what I'm saying? But to sound so detached from the fact that you're not only calling in your 68 father missing, but you literally saying, not only is he missing, but I think I might have found his body burnt up on his burn pile, burnt up and charred beyond recognition. Tracy said he was too calm. Right. He was too calm. He was too just, I don't know. We're told him my judgment for now, but it's so convenient that he's the only one who finds everything. Right. Let's get started. Let's go back.
Matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Go ahead and have a seat, make yourself comfortable. State your full name for the record.
Sarah Jane Love.
And where do you work and what do you do?
I'm a firefighter paramedic with Cherokee County Fire and Emergency Services.
What's your rank there?
Captain.
Tell the jury how long you've been doing what you do.
Well, I've been a paramedic for 28 years and I've been with the fire department for almost 22.
And what is I know there's paramedics, EMTs, and firefighters. What are they all and how are they different?
So there's an EMTI, which is like a basic, the lowest level you can work on an ambulance, and then an advanced, and then a paramedic.
And do you have a certain area that you work in the county, or is it just, how does that work?
You're typically assigned to a station.
You ever had testify? Was the driveway where
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we know that she is qualified and she is certified. Moving right along. Welcome to the best of trial watch. Sidebar, got you. Not Scott is guilty. Then he has to give his qualifying details to prove how he knows what he is in the burn pile. Who even thinks of something like that at such a time? Correct.
Okay.
are those photographs, aerial 1 through 14, do they fairly accurately
check this well.
represent the area that we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Judge, this time I tender to evidence aerial 1 through aerial 14. Judge, after we did not just publish them without asking permission.
That's fine. Anything we can do.
You see on your screen there, this is aerial 1. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
By looking at the screen, this is just showing from the courthouse to the scene. Can you tell the jury about how long, how many miles it is, approximately normal drive, how much time?
From the courthouse, 34 minutes and 16 miles.
About 34 minutes or 16 and a half miles, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And Purcell Lane, what area of the county is that in, Cherokee County?
That'd be the northeastern corner.
And what is that, what type of homes and things are out there? Nice homes?
Yes, fairly large homes.
Expensive area?
Yes,
Affluent
sir.
area, I guess is what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
And where were you coming from when you went there?
So where it says free home on the map and Highway 20, our station is about very close to Highway 20 at that where you would have turned off of Highway 20. Our station's right there.
This is aerial 2. This is showing coming down the road, Purcell Lane, as you come down Purcell. And was the driveway where you picked up Scott Was that at the, kind of right there where Purcell Lane is and the driveway meets?
Yes, sir.
So let me, do you remember the long driveway going up?
Yes.
So did you meet Scott down here or up in the driveway? Where was it?
At Purcell Lane, the fire engine's too big to get down the driveway.
All right.
So the ambulance stopped there and the crew from the fire truck jumped on the back of the ambulance.
So everybody hopped in the ambulance and went up the
Yeah,
driveway?
yeah.
Aerial 3, this is just an overhead Google map showing the property is, how would you describe this property if you could say, this is the type of property, this is what it was like?
That is a lot of property.
It's a very
Huge.
large, nice property. Couldn't really see the house at all from the road, from the trees. It's a very large property.
We've taken some aerials about a year later, some drone photographs that you've been able to review. And this is aerial 4, so this is a snippet, if you would, from an aerial. Does this kind of look like the area that you went to on July 5th of 2018?
Yes, sir. I was more or less looking in the back, talking to the son. So I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to the driveway, but yes, sir, that is the,
As we look at aerial 4, this photograph on the left of the screen is this big long driveway. Do you see that?
yes, sir.
As aerial 5, as you move up the driveway,
Welcome back to
is
the
it
name
correct to
Girls
say that there's a
Official bailiff.
road or driveway that goes to the right to the barn, but
That's
y'all
it.
went straight up to the house?
Correct, sir.
And then aerial 6, is this an aerial showing the pond?
Yes, sir.
Is this the house behind the trees here?
It appears to be, yes, sir.
How about that? Aerial
Yes, sir.
7?
Yes, sir, that is the house.
Aerial 8, just another overview. Now, when you parked, and again, this is about a year later, but as you walk, did y'all walk around as where my mouse is on this item that's here, this white item? Did y'all go around this side, this left side, if you were facing the house?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
And then as you came around, did you come over to the back side where the burn pile was?
Yes, sir, we did.
Hey, they built that house right in the middle of the forest.
When you arrived expecting to see a person, when did things change for you? What did you see and what changed it?
As we're walking up to the burn pit, you could see some long bones. I saw a foot and the skull.
And when you saw that, what in your mind was going on? What were you saying to yourself?
I was trying to make sense of it. It's not something you would typically see, so I was like like the skull, I thought maybe it was a rock. So I kind of moved it a little bit and put it back the way I found it. And the foot, is probably what stands out the most is the foot.
What equipment did you have with you to expect to find a person?
So the guys from the engine grabbed the bed and the equipment, the cardiac monitor, the jump bag, and they were coming behind me, and me and the son were walking, a little bit ahead of them.
When you got there, what was found and what happened?
Well, when I saw the bones, I advised dispatch that it wasn't a person down. It was a signal 48, which means a deceased person, and then to have the coroner en route.
Did anybody touch the bones or do anything with it?
Only like I said, sir, the top of the skull looked like it may have been a rock, so I kind of lifted it a little bit and then put it back where it was when I realized it was definitely the skull.
So things changed from a person being held to a body, basically?
Correct.
Remains? Is that
Yes, sir.
fair? Did law enforcement, were they quickly on the scene at that point? Did they come up?
Yeah, I remember them being right behind us.
Now, I know you've probably seen a lot of things in your career, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
But did this shock you?
Yes, sir.
Let's take aerial 11, just showing this is a photograph showing the house in relation to the pond.
Yes, sir.
Aerial 12 going back over the pond to the arena, the sand pit. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
13 just marching back down the driveway, leaving.
Yes, sir.
And then 14 just going back to the road.
Yes, sir.
But now, you've had an opportunity to look at law enforcement was able to do some drone videos about a year later in June of 2019. Did you have an opportunity to look at those drone videos?
I did.
Judge, at this time, and were those videos fair and accurate as you know the property to be when you saw it?
Yes, sir.
I tend to evidence now Aerial 15, Aerial 16, and Aerial 17, which are 3 drone videos done by the Sheriff's Office about a year later.
All right, any objections?
No objection.
All right, they're admitted. Go ahead.
I'm just going to let this one play. It's about 2 minutes and 10 seconds long.
Okay, so Betty Boop says all that property, they could have spread him all over and said he just left. I watched too many crime shows. Not really, you know, and this is for the true crime lovers, right? So you're in the right place. I thought the same thing. Look at all them woods, right? They could have did a lot of different things, which is all the more reason for DEMETRA, Judge D. Lit, okay? That for reasonable doubt. Like, why make everything so convenient? I sure very much hope. Okay. I sure very, well, you got two best. I sure very much hope they explain how they move from outside. Yes, this crime is so ratchet, right? All them woods, right? And quite honestly, them woods got animals in it. They could have put them out there by the time somebody, you know, and who would know the woods better than the people that there, right? Very suspicious that they make everything so convenient. That's a big, nice property, child. It's like a golf course. If I have any new viewers that's new to the channel, welcome and thank you. Please consider subscribing and definitely hit the bell. We do Trial Watch Monday through Thursday, each night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If for some reason you missed the part or want to split the part, definitely just check on the playlist for Trial Watch. You'll be able to see whatever you missed. They are labeled. And thank you. Hit the like. I didn't fit in all day today, y'all. I said yesterday that I'm going to do.
We play now Aerial 16, which is about 7 minutes and 13 seconds long. And Captain Love, while that's going on, you went around this, as the drone is going, this left side is kind of how y'all approach the burn piles.
Yes, sir.
So it must be the barn. That's got to be the barn. And mind you, Chris, the son who helped at the farm, he lived in the barn. The barn is a whole little house. Oh no, that's the house. Oh, that's part of that house. So what a barn? Maybe that's the barn right there. Hey, Lady T, welcome back to the Little Lane Jury Box. You late, but we are so happy to see you. That's got to be the barn right there. Yeah, that's a chicken coop right there. Hey, Captain Smith, Little Lane Juror. Welcome back to the box. You're late, but I'm glad you're here. On the stand right now is the first witness that's giving testimony. Her name is Sarah Jane or something. But she is one of the first fire and EMT techs that was on the scene. And also what we've seen so far, we heard the 911 call. The 911 call was placed by the son Scott. And he was surprisingly calm, clear, very even-minded on that 911 call. Too calm for some of us. don't understand how Grandma Moses over there would be 52 her husband, especially since she was living her best life married. Right, she had lovers, she had access to her ranch, her farm that she loved so much. You know, didn't have to break up the family in the looks of things, the optics, the mess of a divorce, the mess of splitting. You know, the quarantine. Okay, now. Hold on. Dang, with all that property in that, oh, y'all gotta wait to hear the testimony. Let me hush. Okay, they finna show the burn part. The picture. I'll be scared to start fires and be having burn piles out there enough to burn up the forest and start a whole forest fire. Tiki said you have to work hard to hide your crime. It's definitely a lack of work ethic happening here, right? Either a lack of work ethic or a setup, a
Talking about
plan.
this about a year later, but is that the area of the burn pile?
Yes, sir.
Me too, living. Okay, there go the burn pile.
After you realized what you were dealing with, did you turn the scene over to law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Anything?
Yes, Your Honor.
Like, do you need to replay the video?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Flip them back up, please.
Father probably took the son or all of the children out of his will. Gotta find out later on.
Good afternoon, Captain
I
Love. My
don't
name
know.
is John Luke Weaver, and I represent
She
Melody
drove a
Ferris.
bulldozer into the house to remove the body.
And it is Captain, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So on that day, you responded with who?
Me and my partner, Kenny Holland, were on the ambulance. On the fire truck was Jacob Kinney and Megan Hamilton.
Okay. So you got off of the ambulance
Yes,
and you get, again, the fire truck could not make it up the driveway.
correct.
Why was that?
Because the weight of the fire truck, we don't typically drive the fire truck on driveways. If it's a long driveway, they'll either have to walk or they'll jump in the back of the ambulance with us. And on that call, they jumped in the back of the ambulance.
So
But what if
you
it's
get
a
out
fire?
with a pack, you don't really know what you have at the time, as you testified to earlier, but you walked up the driveway and you encountered, who did you encounter?
So at the end of the driveway, when we stopped and the crew from the fire truck was getting on, there was a gentleman at the end of the driveway telling us that he could show us where at the time we thought a patient was.
Okay. Now, you stated earlier that he kept saying to you he knew what a burned body looked like.
Correct.
And that's something that's resonated in your memory 6.5 years later.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was Scott Ferris, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. What was his demeanor?
He was, I guess the best word is just panicked.
Okay. Do you remember anything else? Did he say anything else to you about where the location of this was?
That he would show us, he said it was a pretty good walk. He would show us where it was.
Now, were there any other family members close by as this was happening?
I did not see anyone else.
Did you speak to any of the other family members on the property?
No, sir.
Did he mention to you or to anybody that worked with you that day, did he ever bring up anything about a missing gun?
No, sir.
All right. But how many times do you think he said he knew what a burned body looked like?
Probably 2-3 times when I was asking questions when we were still in the back of the ambulance.
All right. Do you remember anything else he said?
I don't remember when he said it, but he said his dad had been missing for a couple of days and they'd been looking for him, but that wasn't unusual for him to be missing, I guess.
He said that to you?
Yes.
And that's when he walked you back there himself?
Yes.
And that was just as we saw in the video, back down the house, from behind the house. What would you say the grade on that piece of property was?
It was a little bit of an incline, but not too steep.
All right. And how far behind, I mean, because videos and pictures certainly don't do justice necessarily to being there in person. How far behind the house would you say that burn pile was?
I couldn't tell you. Because, I mean, at the time, I'm not thinking about how far I'm walking. I'm just like walking, trying to get some information and thinking about what we're going to do.
So generally speaking, so the images that we saw today were taken roughly a year later. You didn't take those pictures, correct?
Correct.
Right. But compare and contrast the state of the burn pile that day, July the 5th, 2018.
Just in reference to my report, I estimated it was probably about a 6 foot in diameter, and I don't remember, I think 3 feet maybe high.
Was it still smoking? Could you tell? Was it hot?
I don't remember seeing any smoke, and we didn't bring our thermometer down there to check because we were on an EMS call and we were thinking, get the patient, go to the hospital.
And you mentioned that, now, did you have any gloves or anything like that on?
Yeah, we had medical exam gloves on.
So I imagine that you wouldn't have thought it was a very hot fire if you would reach down and touch it.
No, sir, it wasn't.
All right, when you touched what was or remained, was it hot?
I don't remember it being hot, not like to burn me. It was warm outside, so I mean, it wasn't like it was on fire currently or enough to burn me, but it was, I guess, ambient temperature.
There'll be a number of expert witnesses. I expect that the state is going to. I keep thinking there's a map up there, but there's not. There's a number of expert witnesses that I believe the state's going to call, kind of talking about how they have mapped out the burn pit, the burn pile, where certain things were found within the burn pile. But you stated that you picked up what I believe you believe to be the skull of Mr. Farris.
Well, I didn't know who, but yes, it appeared to be a skull.
But you picked it up, yes?
I didn't pick it up.
Okay.
I lifted like the corner and let it lay back down to where it was.
Immediately
I
laid
did-
it back down.
Yeah, I did not move it.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't pick it up to move it.
You didn't pick it up and hold it in your hand?
No, sir.
You just,
I just
Rolled it
made
and
sure
put
it
it
was,
back.
I just made sure it was like not a rock and there was,
and that would have been when you made the signal 48?
yes, sir.
Was Scott Farris standing there when you were doing that?
I assume so. I mean, he walked us back there and he was still back there when we were
Welcome
leaving.
to the main jury box,
I don't think he
Louis.
left.
Glad
Any
you're
other
here.
family members around?
I do not remember any other family members.
Did you ever remember speaking with my client, Melody Farris?
No, sir.
And did you see her even?
I did not.
When you walk down there, and I believe this is important, so I take your time to answer this question. Because all of Cherokee County responded following you after your signal 48. Did you ever notice any tractor marks near the fire?
I did not notice, sir.
All right. Did you notice any RTV tire treads? Like a tire tread, a car tread, any kind of a tire?
I did not notice.
All right. How about, could you see where horse hoof marks would be somewhere around the fire? Could you see any of that?
I didn't notice anything like that.
All right. Any tools
Horse
or
hoof.
implements for the fire?
I didn't notice. I wasn't looking for stuff like that either.
Yes, ma'am.
But I did not notice.
Okay. Anything else you would remember about that day?
No, sir.
How long did you leave after the signal 48?
Pretty quickly after I called and told them that it was a signal 48 and law enforcement was there, we turned the scene over quickly as possible, especially for the ambulance to get back in service for, the next emergency call. So we left pretty quickly.
If I may have one brief second, Your Honor. That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can sit down. Thank you, ma'am.
Just ask you manual call.
All right. That's fine. All right, call your next witness.
Okay, so why-
They call Robert Raleigh.
Okay,
Raleigh.
Robert Raleigh. Now, you guys are making some excellent points here, right? So I started. Let's see here. We read that one. Witness said, so she allegedly drove a bulldozer into the house to remove the body. So y'all, we all picking up real quick. How could she have possibly done this, right? By herself. Witness says, ain't no way that woman lifted or drug a human weightless body to any equipment by herself. Money is always
Sir,
the
raise your
number
right
one
hand.
motive.
Do you solemnly swear affirm that the evidence you about to
Oh.
present in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Have a seat, state your name for the record, and tell us where you work and what do you do?
Ben Raleigh, I work for Cherokee County Sheriff's Department, UPD, been there 11 and a half years.
Now, y'all kind of wrap your mind around this point here. I think the jury couldn't get beyond the defendant's horse ways. People do not like free thinking and free fucking women. Now, that's something that at the end of the show tonight, we're going to talk about that, right? Because I think that's worth kind of delving into a little bit. But let's get into the second witness. I think in his testimony, I have a time stamp. I'm going to let him get started, but I know I'm going to fast forward it. Because he's gonna pretty much say all the exact same stuff that this lady just said. Don't forget, this is best of trial watch. Well, we wants to get to all the good parts. All right, so let him get started and qualify himself for you guys.
And what do you do at the Sheriff's Department?
Investigate crimes, car crashes, supervise, and road patrol.
I want to turn your attention now to Thursday, July 5th, 2018, probably right around 1 p.m. Did you respond to 2155 Purcell Lane in Alpharetta, Cherokee County, Georgia?
I did.
Tell the jury what you responded for.
I responded for a person down. Essentially, I guess the son of the mother called and said he'd been to Iraq, seen a person burning before. He knows what it looks like, and I responded as the supervisor.
Where'd you come from?
That precinct.
All that on a 911 call.
It took me
That's-
quite a while.
And when you respond, what do you remember seeing there?
There was some family outside, and there was another deputy at the front porch.
You got your cell phone with you?
I do.
Is it on?
It's, yeah.
Do me a favor, the judge allows. Can you Google what day of the week is July 5th, 2018?
Judge, you okay?
Not he's not prepared with the day.
I've got it. Calendar.
Motive. What would be her motive? The question.
This is perfect calendar. No objection. Judge, I'll tender to evidence now State's Exhibit Raleigh 1, which is a calendar. Did you beat me?
Yes. There you go.
All right, so looking at State's Exhibit Raleigh 1, for your name and your one exhibit there, number 1, July 2018, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so you respond July 5th, which is a Thursday,
Yes, sir.
about 1 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
And do you have an opportunity to review State's Exhibit Raleigh 2, which is just a portion of your video from your patrol vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Is it fair and accurate and describe you pulling up the driveway?
Yes, sir.
Judge, at this time I'm tendering to evidence State's Exhibit Raleigh 2, which is a clip from his patrol vehicle video.
Okay.
Tendering to evidence this time.
Go ahead. Move.
Yes, you.
Yes, sir.
While we ride up the driveway, sidebar, Kwani has a live says that's titled, "My Heart is in El Segundo." Back to the trial.
Left of the screen, you'll see yourself walking up there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I have no idea. It looks like one of ours. You go around to the left of the house. Yes, sir. Thank you.
When you arrived, where did you go?
I went to the left side of the house
And where'd you end up?
and inside the house.
Did you go in the, who did you see in the house? Did you see Melody Ferris, the defendant in the house?
Yes, sir.
Now let the record reflect, is this the defendant that you saw in the house?
You know, I believe so.
Okay.
It's 6 years ago. Yes, sir.
All right. She looked like the person that you saw.
Yes, sir.
When you went in, where was she at?
She was on the outside, and then she came on inside.
Did you clear the house?
I did.
Tell the jury what clearing the house is.
So clearing the house is anytime you go on scene, you need to make sure that nothing else is inside the house, and that's just standard operating procedure. What we do.
When you walked in, did the defendant go and get anything from the house?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
She asked if she could enter the house. She forgot to get 2 rings that were inside a drawer, and I allowed her to do so. And we went inside the house. She went into a junk drawer and pulled out 2 rings and put them on her ring finger.
Where was this in the house? Do you remember?
It was on inside the kitchen.
The kitchen area.
Yes, sir.
And then after that, what happened?
And then she left. She went back outside.
At any point while you were out there, were you, I guess, tasked with doing security or making sure nothing was getting moved, things like that?
Yes, sir.
And did you ever smell anything?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury what you smelled.
Just like cleaning solution, like bleach. It was a very faint odor.
Remember anything about a candle?
Yes, the candle was reflected in my report. I can't remember exactly the candle. It was 6 years ago.
But there was a candle burning in the house?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, Mr. Weaver?
Then are you corporal?
Yes, sir.
Corporal, I'm John Luke Weaver, and I represent Melody Ferris. So, what you just summed up, was that, how long were you there that day?
I was there for
Welcome
a
back
while.
to the
I mean,
jury
if it happened
box.
at 1 o'clock,
You're late.
I wasn't
I'm
relieved
glad
until
to
about
see
5:30, 6 o'clock.
All right, so you were there 4 or 5 hours.
Sure.
All right. And you were the first one to respond, the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office?
Incorrect.
Okay. Who was?
I believe it was be on CAD, but I know that I relieved Deputy Moss at the time.
All right. So there had already been a number of people there by the time you got there.
Sure.
All right. And you walk in, were you the first person to talk to Miss Ferris that you know of?
I don't know.
Had anybody else, so you walked in the house immediately once you got there?
I don't remember.
All right. And you walked in the house and you immediately smelled, what did you say you smelled?
The odor like a cleaning solution, like bleach.
All right. Did you walk into a laundry room? Did you notice there was a laundry room close by when you walked in the house?
I don't remember.
Okay, you don't remember. And a candle, what did you say you smelled a candle burning?
I believe there was it reflected in my report that there was a candle. I don't recall.
Because you don't recall the candle.
Correct.
Then why would you write in a report that this candle was important to you, but you don't remember what it was?
Because that's 6 years ago.
Okay. Is it unusual for people to have a candle burning in their house?
Sure. Is it unusual?
Yes. Is it unusual? Or is it usual?
Yeah.
It's normal.
Correct.
So why was that unusual to you?
I don't know.
Okay. And is it unusual for people to clean their houses?
Yeah, that's standard.
It's standard. And when you walk into a house, some of them smell clean, correct?
Sure.
All right. And would this have been any more different than if you walked into anybody's clean house? Yours, for example.
No.
Go ahead, Judge. Okay, hold on, one more.
Good question. I think that was a good redirect. Not redirect. I think that was a good cross-examination.
All right, so
What y'all think?
you cleared this house, yes?
Correct.
All right. And was anybody else with you?
I believe Deputy Moss.
Okay. And when you cleared this house, did you notice anything else out of place?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you notice any blood splatter?
No, sir.
Did you notice any droplets of blood?
No, sir.
Did you notice a bullet surreptitiously placed in the floor in the basement?
No, sir.
Okay. Nothing else. You just noticed maybe the smell of, you say bleach, maybe,
Yeah, cleaning solution, bleach.
and a candle.
Yes, sir.
But you don't remember what the candle smelled like.
No.
Okay. Anything else? Fair.
All right, Ferris. Thank you, Hunter. Deputy, I want to follow up on this candle. I think you were in the kitchen, is that right?
Correct.
And you said it's been 6 years?
Yes.
Don't remember everything?
Don't.
Did you write a report?
Yes, sir.
Or you taught to write something significant or important to put in your report?
Absolutely.
Would it refresh your memory, your recollection, to be able to look at your report and see what you said or wrote down about the candle?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Let's see why he wrote that down 6 years ago.
And with all this technology now, I have the reports on my laptop. So what I want you to do is take my laptop, just hold it to yourself. Is that your report?
Yes, sir.
Do me a favor, go ahead and just read it to yourself. Don't read it out loud. Go to the section at the bottom there where it talks about the candle. All right, now being in the kitchen, there was a door. Where was the candle at?
I don't remember it was a big house. I don't remember exactly where the candle was.
Okay, you remember what room it is?
No, sir.
What do you now recall what you wrote in your report where the candle was?
Yeah, the candle was being lit in front of the basement door.
Now approach you on. Basement door.
Yes, sir.
Nothing further.
Very correct. Say still not passing judgment either way, but a lot of
Did you
people
take
take
any
off
photos
things while
of where
cleaning.
this
Let me
candle
quiet.
was?
No, sir.
Are you aware of any being taken of this candle?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Did you ever look in the dining room where the candle was?
Again, I couldn't even tell you where the dining room was.
Right. And you couldn't tell me where the laundry room was either.
Correct.
That's all, Judge.
Hey, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can step down.
Thanks, sir.
All right,
It's going to be approached. Just get it.
all right.
All right, and so at this point, let me pause it because this is actually the end of day one, the official day one of the trial. Okay, of course, we're on part 2 here. So let's get ready to move into day 2. Okay, it's going to be some more law enforcement individuals, and I do have a timestamp, so we're going to get to the to some really interesting parts. Okay, let's see here. Let me get to it. Speak amongst yourself for one moment here. Well, I can talk while I'm doing this. So far, I'm looking over the jury box and I'm looking at what we're talking about. You know, right now, it seems like at this moment, we like, wait a minute now. A lot of people, not everybody, but not saying who did it, who didn't do it, but apparently they're going to have to come with something more than that because it's very questionable about how she was able to do this by herself. Which, where there's a will, there's a way, right? Stranger things have happened. That's for certain, for sure. All right, here we go. All right, this is going to be day 2. I go to 1 hour, 7 minutes. We're going to get into the CSI. One moment. Let's share it. Let me just say, hold on. I got a lot of things up here. Let me share this first. Let me do this. Mm-hmm. Let me do this. Mm-hmm. I think a couple of people have Tiki. I know Lady Steph has been on juries a couple of times. I remember her saying that. Tracy says the smoke from the candle could keep mice away. They did live in the woods. Yeah, but all them woods in that big old house, it had to be more than one candle. Unless, as a reminder, you know, to be the officers say that even the smell of bleach was a light smell of bleach, right? And it was only one candle. So, you know, that to me is not really saying much. Let me a minute. I had jury duty twice. Both times I didn't have to go. Oh, that was Miss Step 219 that went. Okay, was that you? Okay, both of y'all. Oh, y'all double stepping all together. Y'all be in decision. Wow, you have been lucky. They don't never call me for jury duty. That's all right. I made myself a judge. Okay. Been called twice, wasn't selected though. They don't even call me. That's all right. So on the stage, on the stand right now is Lieutenant Lee Stewart. Okay, he is actually a CSI tech, and he took all the pictures. Okay, so I skipped past all his qualifications, how long he been working there, what he did studied. Just know he's a certified, verified, true and through CSI tech who's been doing it for a long time. He didn't really do no investigation, really. All he really set upon doing was taking pictures. Okay, and he took 100 million pictures. So let's get into the best part of his testimony.
See if you ever need to get some water or anything, make yourself comfortable.
Oh, good, sir.
Look at all those pictures.
We'll do it a couple ways, but these are so they can go out with the jury. These are states. Stewart 1 is 131. I'll bring them up on the computer too.
Okay.
Do you ever get selected, Winter?
Thank you, Judge. Thanks, Shane.
Screen looked like I had it on because I can see it.
Yours is
Yeah,
Just blank.
sorry.
The barn, so the barn.
you know it, but some things may not be in their mind as it is in yours. As we come into this, and we know that you come up the driveway and you turn right to go to the barn, is that right?
Correct.
And tell us what we're seeing here in Stewart 1. Now, I probably would just refer to it as 1 or 2 or 3, but we're talking about the Stewart exhibit.
Okay.
So in States 1 here, what do we see?
So what you see off to the left is the barn. Well, it's got 2 sliding barn doors on the front. And then just off to the right of that, you see basically 2 sheds where obviously various equipment. I mean, you can keep various equipment. And then
When you're looking at this, the barn on the left, and where was Scott's apartment be, the son's apartment?
above the barn, so the second story, second floor.
Kind of describe the apartment, the loft over the barn. What would it be like?
I mean, it's just I guess a standard apartment, bedroom, bathroom, living room area, kitchen.
That's where the son that lived with them on the property.
Kind of more equivalent to a hunting cabin, or more equivalent to like a fancy apartment down in Atlanta?
I would say more equivalent to maybe a man room, hunting cabin, something like that.
Like a bachelor was living there,
Basically, yeah,
who's a hunter or something like that.
correct.
What do we see in one of your straight ahead? What are those things?
Talking about what the trailer's parked in front of?
This is now 2. What do we have here?
Those are basically, I mean, I consider them storage sheds. So like you can back trailers under them, you could park equipment under them, trucks under them, whatever. They've got various tools in them, basically used for storage.
I'm never good at this. My wife has to correct me all the time. Is that a lean-to, or is it pole barn, or what would you call that?
I mean, I call it a pole barn,
Okay.
but
States 3, what do we have here?
so it's the one on the left, I believe. Basically various tools in there, lawnmowers, shovels, tillers, various household, outside working tools.
4, moving to the left of that view, that same shed.
Okay.
What do we have here?
Just the other side, you have a tiller, a trailer, gas cans, a small pull behind, looks like fertilizer spreader, a push mower, sprinklers, just various lawn equipment.
All right, States 5, what do we see on this wall?
On the wall, you have basically what you call it, I would call it a sickle on the end. You've got a shelf, you've got rakes, shovels, chain,
Tools. State 6, looking at the front of this, just other things in that shed, is that right?
Yeah, so you got a shelf full of buckets and gas cans, and then to the left of that, it looks like you got a climbing ladder stand for like a hunter.
Just going around. Do you try to capture the scene as it is, not knowing whether or not it's relevant at the time?
Correct. So when you take photographs, the first thing you do is you take overall photographs. So basically, if you had to go back and overlay something on top of it, you could completely recreate the scene. And then once you find out what your evidence is, you go back and you take the other photographs, mid-range close-ups, stuff like that.
Stewart 8 here, the right side of the right sheds here.
Yes.
Is there anything in those, or are they I guess the right one's empty, is that right?
I believe the right one's empty, yeah. Well, except for, looks like a planter.
Number 9, and when you look at this, it looks like a planter and some things have been strapped to the top.
Yeah, it's probably where, my guess is where they put the seed, to hold the seed. It looks like a planter.
I don't know if you call those toe straps. What do you call those straps?
I mean,
Come along straps?
Ratchet straps is
Ratchet
what I call them. But
You use those at your farm?
I don't know if that's the technical term, but that's what I call them.
Stewart 10.
So everybody had
empty,
forms and
right
work.
side of the shed
Okay.
here, is that right?
Yes.
All right. Stewart 11. Tell the jury what we see in this photograph and kind of where it's at in relation to everything else on the property.
So this is behind, so what I see here is like, obviously you're looking kind of at the side of the right shed. Looking down, you know, there's obviously another lean-to or pole barn or whatever you want to call it off to the back, but there's various other equipment. And then like wheelbarrows, storage ladders, and then down behind that, parked next to a mulch pile is the Kubota tractor that I mentioned processing earlier.
And this Kubota, what does it have on the front and what does it have on the back?
So on the front, it's got a loader, which is, you know, commonly used, you know, farm stuff. Then on the back, we'll have to get closer, but there's an implement on the back, like a small set of harrows or a drag plow or something like that. But
Stewart 12 just showing.
So I guess they
view
said
looking
somebody
at,
could have been put
I
in
guess,
the
the front of the tractor. Is that right?
correct.
Now describe for the jury what is to the left of the tractor and is there anything in it or is it empty?
The left.
You know, this is the whole lean-to issue with me. You see that,
Oh,
that
okay.
roof that comes over?
I'm looking at it from being on the tractor. So, okay.
All right. So as you're looking at this photograph,
Right.
tractor's to your right,
Correct.
to the left, that little shed area. What's in there?
Looks like on the left, it kind of looks like a wood chipper. We got some various piping hanging on the wall, a wheelbarrow, and then looks like a plastic storage, like a storage container to store liquid. Or
Did you learn where the tractor was normally parked, whether it's normally parked under there or out like this?
I don't recall where it was normally parked. I mean, I know me personally, I keep my stuff under the barn because I want to take care of it. But I mean, I don't know. Some people keep stuff outside.
Stewart 13, we're looking at the right side of the tractor.
Correct.
Want to kind of focus in on those tires. Did you notice anything about the tractor, its condition, whether it's clean, not clean, or otherwise?
I mean, it looks relatively well taken care of. I mean, cleanish. It's got some dirt on it. Got some dirt on the tires.
Stewart 14, going back and looking at that, what I call a rake, or what would you call the implement on the back of the tractor?
Now, wouldn't that absolutely leave tracks?
A rake of some sort. I don't know what the technical term is. Some sort of harrow rake, something like that.
And what is that usually used for?
That in particular, I'm not real sure. I would be assuming it's for moving ground.
All right, Stewart's 15 on the back side. Who's that gentleman standing there to the right? Do you know?
That looks like Detective Kuykendall.
And he's not crime scene. He's just a
detective. He's a sergeant in our criminal investigations division.
So this is a back view of the tractor. Has that what I call a rake on the back. Left side, just seeing the tractor's position on Stewart 16.
Yes.
Stewart 17, kind of another going around it. You just try to walk around. Is that what you're doing?
Correct. So I'm doing overall. So I'm taking pictures of the overall piece of equipment going around.
And Stewart 18 is going to the scoop or the bucket or
Yes.
what'd you call it?
The bucket.
19, a little closer on the back. All right, 20, I want to go around to, I think we got pictures of the tires, begin on the right side, the right back. What do you notice about this tire?
As far as, I mean, there's dirt on the outside of the tire. It's
Stewart 21, as we go into the
Those
front.
tractors make a lot of noise.
Stewart 22, what do you notice about the front right tire?
I mean, there's dirt caked in the tread of the tire on the front where it's stopped.
Stewart 23, front bucket. If I said that bucket's about 5 feet in length, would you disagree with that?
I mean, I'd probably say close. I mean, I don't know the exact dimensions of the bucket, but I mean, I'd probably say that's close.
All right, 26, that's the front right.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm going to back up just a little bit. You see on Stewart 22, you see that white round part on the tractor.
You talking about the oil filter?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
filter. So Stewart 26, we're talking about the front right.
Yes.
Stewart 27. What is this picture of?
That's the front right tire.
The mud on the tire.
Yes.
Stuart 28 back picture of the right front tire. Is that right?
I think so. I can't really tell.
And then Stuart 29, the back right.
Yes.
Stuart 29, the back right. Stuart 30, excuse me. All right, now on the left side, the writing's on the other side. Let me go back so you know this. So you see in Stuart 20, you see that HST is on the right there. Now we're on the left side. So left back tire, describe that for us.
There's no way this thing not gonna leave tracks.
It's got some earth, looks like earth debris on the, or dirt, leaves, whatever on the top.
32, just another picture of it.
Close up picture.
33, this is the left step.
Correct.
Now, Stuart 34, what are we focusing on here, kind of towards the top of this step?
So about, I don't know, 2/3 of the way across, the very top of the step, there's several small reddish brown stains, and that's a close-up photo of it.
Is that seen here in Stuart 35?
Yes.
Do you have training in detecting blood or seeing blood?
Yes.
What kind of training do you have in that?
So, in my career, I've seen lots of human blood over the course of 26 years of working the road, being on wrecks, answering calls. But we also, as a crime scene technician, there's a 40-hour class you have to take. It's called blood stain pattern analysis. So it helps you learn how to identify different stains, stuff like that.
And what do you learn in those classes? Tell us just basically what
you identify blood.
when it comes to blood splatter, blood patterns, or things like that.
So you learn how to determine, like in certain things, like certain instance, area of impact, area of origin. So it doesn't really apply in this case, but because obviously we don't have anything else than just one piece of evidence. But so if you have, a blood spatter on the wall, and it's here, and somebody says, I was standing up and, I was hitting the head with something, you basically can say, well, I don't think that's the case because the area of origin would be down here. So you learn how to pull measurements and strings and whatnot to kind of determine. You learn directionality of blood drops. So you learn, basically that 90-degree droplets are round. You learn various patterns of blood. There's all kind of patterns of blood, white patterns, saturation patterns. Basically, it's just the scientific way to describe what kind of pattern it is. So, for example, if it's a white pattern, I'm sure everybody's seen where somebody's tried to clean something up and they wipe it in a circle. You can tell obviously that's what they call a white pattern. It means it looks like it's been tried to be wiped up. Or you have a swipe pattern, which means like if I'm bleeding from the hand and I walk by this wall and I brush it, obviously that's two different looks. That's what they would call a swipe pattern. Basically, I swipe something across it. I swipe the object across it. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. So if I was shot in the arm and held my arm out, and blood would drop 90 degrees down and vertical, what would it look like?
It would be completely round.
And can blood be transferred from one place to another?
Yes.
From one substance or thing to another?
Correct.
When you look at this, can you tell if this has any indication of any of those things you talk about?
It could be any number of things. It could be a transfer stain. It could be
it could be a drop.
It could be a drop because you have one looks like 90-degree on the right, but that could have come off something as well.
But could have been transferred.
Could have been transfer. There's no way I could definitively give you the answer.
Stuart 36.
Yes.
Just a closer of that.
It's another close up. It's done with a ABFO scale that we use those to in close up photographs so that people can get a size reference on the size of something. So if we have to, we go back and recreate something later. If something has to be recreated later, you can get approximate size.
And technically, I think this was going to be GBI out of 1919B, and it's a swab 2 sample that you took. So this is the sample of the blood from the tractor that you took and was turned into the GBI.
Yes, sir.
And how many, when you take swabs, it does, we're stipulating to this, so it doesn't really matter, but when you take a swab, how many swabs
One drop of blood.
doing?
So it depends. So on something like this, I took, because I have one sample, I do 2. So when you collect this sample, it was dry. So if it's wet, you don't have to do anything. You can just swab it up. If it's dry, you have to use some sort of substance to be able to lift it. So we use sterile water, denatured water, whatever you want to call it. So the first thing that we do is we're going to use 2 swabs. The first one, we put the water comes in little vials, if that helps you guys out to kind of picture it. So you drop the water on top of the first swab. It looks like a big Q-tip, basically.
Stuart, 125, what's it say at the top, the best you can
So it
make
says estimated year-to-date earnings. It looks like it says cumulative by quarter.
If you could, there's 1, 2, 3, are there 4 columns? Stuart,
It could be any number of things. It could be a transfer stain. It could be
Let me leave
it
it
could be
where
a drop.
It could be a drop because you have one looks like 90 degrees on the right, but I mean, that could have come off something as well.
But could have been transferred
Could have been
to?
transfer. I mean, there's no way I could definitively give you the answer.
Stuart, 36?
Yes.
Just a closer of that?
It's another close-up. It's done with a AVFO scale that we use those in close-up photographs so that people can get a size reference on how the size of something. So if we have to, we'll go back and recreate something later. If something has to be recreated later, you can get approximately.
69, 70. And did you notice that there were ropes and other things around the property?
I mean, yeah, there was various. I mean, you see a rope hanging off the extension cords. There's ropes hanging on the wall. There was chains in one of the shed earlier. So yeah, there's ropes and chains all over the place.
72, now up to 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. We see some of these rifle shotguns. Where are these?
Great point.
Looks like the bottom 2 are rifles, and I can't tell if the top one's a shotgun or a rifle.
Just going through the rest of these. Now 83, this is the tack room for the horses.
It's one of them. I mean, there's saddles in there. There's fishing rods, various things.
All right, let me go back. Stuart, 94. What do we have a picture here? Can you see it?
I believe that's the 32 revolver we discussed earlier.
For the record, what were we looking at here in Stuart, 94? Describe it in words if you could.
It was you're talking about we're in the tack room. There's a cabinet, or in one of the storage rooms, there's a cabinet that's open. It's got various items in it. And then there's a 32 revolver, or there's a revolver laying underneath it with ammunition, boxes of ammunition beside it.
So Stuart, 95 shows the gun as you found it.
Yes.
Stuart, 96. What do we have here?
So that's the inside, like I previously mentioned, that's we obviously inspect the weapons when we pick them up.
And that's what
So
you call
we opened the
bullet
cylinder and looked, and you can note that that's a 6-shot revolver. And there's the little round circles in the middle of the cartridges or the primers. And if those would have been fired, there would have been imagine like taking a nail, taking a nail and hitting it on a piece of wood and then pulling it out. You'd have like a little indentation in the primer, showing that it had been fired. Then obviously we would have collected the shell casing.
97, just showing the name of the gun.
Yes, it's a Winchester.
And then 98, some just pictures of the chicken coop, I guess.
Correct.
Not pictures of the chicken. They might be suspects too.
Now 115. On now transition. I guess this will be on July 6th.
Looks like the garbage cans downstairs because you can see the blue tarp that it's sitting on.
So Stuart, 115 is the garbage can. Is that the picture? Just a picture of the outside.
Correct.
I guess, what's that, blue tarp under it?
Yes.
Why do you do that?
Well, because I mean, I'm fixing to lay stuff out on it so that I can photograph it and take pictures. And I want to try to keep it as obviously I'm outside, so I want to try to keep it as sterile as possible.
116. Now you weren't involved in interviewing people to know anything about a dish.
I wonder what's the
or why
trash
the
can.
dish is there.
I hope they
No,
say
I
what's
mean,
the trash can
I'm
is
assuming
in
it's
the
in the garbage
garage.
can is broken.
I mean,
But
that barn, I guess
that's-
so.
Sometimes the smallest things can be evidence, so you
Sure,
can
no,
document
I'm
everything.
not disputing that, but the point is you didn't talk to witnesses, know anything
No,
about it.
I did not.
You just found it.
Mhm.
So Stuart, 116, what do we see here?
So like I mentioned earlier, there was food in the garbage can, packs of cigarettes, and then obviously a broken plate.
117, I guess what you do is you peel the onion, you take some off, take another layer off.
Correct. So you first, like if I was doing this, I would take an overall picture of the top of the garbage can. Then I would take a few things out, take pictures again. So that way everything can be photographed. And you systematically lay it out across the tarp, which I'm sure you'll see that in a minute. And then you take an overall photograph from the top so you can see everything at one time that was found in there.
Y'all don't just willy-nilly get some evidence and throw it there in the back of the truck. Are y'all
No.
very careful and punctilious in how you actually go through all the evidence, step by step, piece by piece, making sure you're processing it,
Yes.
packaging it right?
Yes.
All right, 118. What is this?
That's a picture of that's a close-up picture of the broken plate laying on the tarp.
119, still going through the
And we're back in the garbage can again.
120. What do we have here?
I think
Photographs
she
of
supposed to have thrown that plate in here
papers.
for the opening
21.
argument. I do believe she supposed to have thrown
plant leaves, looks like plant leaves. There's
at
food.
some point.
122 showing some documents and food.
Yes,
123, you're laying it out. Is that right?
correct.
124. What is the photograph 124? Stuart 124.
So it was a document that was found in the garbage can. It was referenced second quarter earnings from, looks like talk about finances.
Who is it addressed to, this document?
Equity Partners.
From Leo Howell.
Yes.
What date was it?
It was dated June 12th of 2018.
And
Now,
regard.
why would that
what
type
does
of
it say?
paperwork be in the barn, the trash
reference.
can?
So it
Right?
says reference second quarter earnings. For me to continue to read it, or?
Why would
Yeah,
that
if you could,
be
just
in
for the
barn?
record.
So it says enclosure the following estimated earnings through the second quarter of 2018 and the summary income statement through May 31st, 2018. Second quarter live tax draw check, or if you elect a direct deposit, you can view your stub on, looks like mybird.com, but it's all wrinkled, so I can't.
Right. And then there's, says LRH and attachments.
Correct.
Stuart 125, did you find this in the garbage can?
Correct.
Let me pull it down here. Stuart 125, what's it say at the top, the best you can
So it
make?
says estimated year-to-date earnings. It looks like it says cumulative by quarter.
If you could, there's 1, 2, 3, are there 4 columns on this piece of paper or this document?
Yes, sir.
And the left column, is it kind of it says something about by quarter and partner, is that right?
Correct.
And then what is listed in that column below alphabetically?
I mean, it looks, to a layperson and to me, it looks like last names.
Okay. But it makes out a name, like that's not gibberish. It's just like
Correct.
Abbott, Jones, Joseph, Kavanaugh, Keller.
Those are all common last names that I've heard, so I would make the assumption that they would be last names.
Appears to be alphabetically.
Yes.
The second column has a percentage of 2018 percentage of partnership. Is that right?
Yes.
And then it has different percentages per person.
Correct.
Third column says YTD year-to-date earnings 3/31/2018 first quarter.
Yes.
And then year-to-date earnings 5/31/2018
Damn,
second
everybody
quarter.
got to know
Yes.
how much everybody make, huh?
Are some of these figures in money over $100,000?
Absolutely.
Some of it over $300,000?
Let's see. Yes.
Stuart, 126, what do we have here?
That looks like a 28.
Yeah, everybody loves to get this thing, don't think, the tax bill.
Absolutely. It's the 2018 tax statement for the 2155 Purcell Lane.
Cherokee County Board of Assessors, is that
Yes.
what's labeled at the top? So
Yes.
Stuart 126, who is it made out to?
It's made out to Gary W. Ferris and Melody W. Ferris.
So both names are on, is that
Correct.
right? What's the address?
The address that we're here for today, 2155 Purcell Lane.
So 2155 Purcell Lane?
Yes, sir.
Official tax matter, and it says.
Do anybody
this
remember
annual
who
assessment
was
notice
in the
date,
form?
May 14, 2018,
Yes.
and then last date to file written repeal, June 28, 2018.
Yes.
So for the property, current year fair market value of the property, what is that?
Looks like $1,036,900.
So $1,036,900,
Correct.
and that was the value of it back in 2018.
Correct. I mean, according to the county, yes.
Stuart 127. What is this document?
It's a pay statement, a paper copy of a pay statement to address to Gary Ferris.
Stuart 127, if you look at to the right over here, what is the period start date and the period end date?
Shows it's the month of May, so May 1st, 2018 to May 31st, 2018.
Okay. What is the pay group?
Birmingham Monthly, it says.
Was the job?
Partner Equity.
It has a pay rate.
It says $159.05. Now I don't understand what that means as far as, but
I mean,
I
actually,
think that's how much you make an hour, huh?
Go to Stuart 128. Stuart 120, kind of the same thing,
correct.
just a clear copy.
Yes.
And this pay date is April.
It's from
of
April
2000
instead of May.
Pretty much is very similar to the Stuart 127, but after, not the gross, but the net, what is the amount for that month?
It says, the total says $20,969.37.
Whose name is at the top there?
Gary W. Ferris.
All right, in the trash can, maybe another trash can looks like.
Correct, there was two.
Stuart 129, we see something poking out of the top there. I'm gonna go to Stuart 130. What do we have here?
A bunch of soda cans, Mountain Dew cans, empty cartons of cigarettes.
Would you consider that evidence if you had to use
Yeah, man,
common sense
I
and
thought
inference
I had
of
a bad
be like
soda
Mountain Dew?
problem.
Correct.
He got me beat.
And then 131.
Oh my God.
Judge, can I just have one moment?
Probably a good time for a break.
I think I'm done, Judge, if I can.
Right.
Judge, I'm done.
All right, we'll take a short break. We'll take 10 minutes longer if y'all need to wander, but y'all can go down and get coffee, take a smoke break. You can sit down. Yeah, you're good.
All right, so let's talk about some things, right? Let's talk about some things. There you have it, the first witness of day 2. And I think he's like the third witness, CSI Tech, who took all these pictures, right? And so when they was going through the first pictures with the showing the farm equipment and everything, you know, the state is definitely wanting to point out the tools and the means, right? Remember yesterday during the opening statement, he said we got to think about the means, the motive, and something else. I can't remember. So the motive they're trying to say is the money, okay? And then they saying the means. How would they get it by? How would they go by getting it done? So that was the significance, I would believe, about the farm equipment and everything. So we had talked about the tractor, and Winter had said right here, I thought this was interesting because they found 1 drop of blood in the house and 1 drop of blood that we just saw the picture of on the tractor, on the step. And it wasn't even like, and that drop of blood was on the tractor footstep. Okay. Went to say, nah, that little tractor carries that, nah. Maybe that's supposed to be no way, but nah. That little tractor, oh, that probably nah. That's how you spell nah. That little tractor carries that big man without him falling off of it, having to be put back on the bucket. Now, when you type this in, I was like, now that makes sense. But then I thought about not envisioning in my mind. I say, but however, one of them type of tractors, you can lift up the bucket, right? So if the bucket raised up in the air, the body ain't gonna fall out. You see what I'm saying? What you think? Lady T say no. Oh, this I'm on the wrong side, huh? Well, let me go ahead and hit this comment. And Betty Boop in the midst of that testimony saying, now let's remember that the son was in the military. They are trained how to cover their tracks. Okay. Good point. Valid point. Astute. Now, also, look at Miss Steph say, what would be her motive? What would be her motive? You know, and y'all was talking about that. Winter says she was doing her thing freely, and he knew about it, and she still had access to unlimited money. What would be her reason? Now, I'm gonna have to wait till we get to the testimony, but yeah, I'm gonna just hold what I got. I'm gonna hold what I got. I'm gonna hold what I got. I gotta hold what I got. But I think they said it. I don't think they said it in the opening statement. Damn. Let me take a picture. Let me take a screenshot of this comment. So we can come back to it at the right time. Okay. So we thinking about, look like the jury box, we're really thinking about motive, we putting it together. They were good with their lifestyle. So why would she unalive him now with all they have been through? If she did it, she had help for sure. Very good point. Good point. Good idea. That now this is about her putting the rings in. I thought that was weird too, that number one, if y'all got the crime scene marked off where ain't nobody supposed to go up in there, but this is like a little rural little part, right? But why in the world would you go ahead and give permission? That's how you can tell they're not in a big city. So the CSI tech said that he went ahead and allowed for the defendant to go back in the house, and when she went back in the house, she hurried up and put her wedding bands on because they was off, you know. And so I said, that's weird. And Tiki said, that is weird behavior. She wanted to grab them wedding rings and slide them on real fast, right? Winter said, still not passing judgment either way, but a lot of people take off their rings while cleaning, even while washing the dishes. And I'm putting all kind of words in. And out of habit, out then back on, off then on, and okay, out of habit, off then back on, out of habit. Even if we forget to do so right away. Correct. But I keep my little promise ring on, child. That's because it's still new. Winter says, I read that. Okay, I need to go back in the live comments. That's the start comments that I started for us to come back to. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Very suspicious. Those are the things you will keep. Okay, so let's talk about these documents, right? Now, at this point in time, they are still showing the evidence that was collected in the barn. Now, they showed pictures of the barn and stuff like that, and we do know that the son, Chris, I don't want to say the name because I don't know if I got the names right or not. We have to listen a little bit more. But the son that stayed at the house, okay, we know that he lived in the barn. They just showed pictures, the whole area pictures and everything of the whole premises of the barn. I did not see a work desk in that barn. Did y'all? So why did they find all this financial records and stuff thrown in the trash for the victim in the barn? Betty Boop say those are things that you'll keep. God dang, I know it's Harvest Rachel fan. Open the Mountain of Dudes. So the EMT, they asked the first lady, has she seen any tracks by the burnt pile? She said no, but at the same time, she wasn't necessarily looking for them because she's not an investigator, right? Phone calls from prison are applying her jail calls, by the way. You might want to review them on here. Oh, phone calls for prison are playing her jail calls, by the way. You might want to review them on here. Excellent suggestion. And I did see it came up and I hadn't even listened to them. Let me write that down. That's a very good recommendation for me. I'm writing it down. We might do like something like that on a Friday or something. You know what I'm saying? That'd be good. Meaning no, like nah. That's how I'm gonna start spelling nah. I never like Mountain Dew. Tastes like milk. I don't like Mountain Dew either. But that's some bad stuff. And then, you know, that candle. Let's talk about them cigarettes, right? Y'all saw all them packs of cigarettes. You know, I don't have no problem with that. However, maybe that's why she was. You remember? Okay. Now, the cigarettes. I do believe the cigarettes for the husband, Gary, or for the son. We're going to find out, I'm sure. But if Gary smoked cigarettes down there in that basement, wouldn't that make the fact that she had a candle burning in front of the basement door, wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't that make sense? I literally keep a candle burning up in here because my honey want me to keep a candle because of my cigarette smoke. So if in that big old house, no candles burning, but she got one candle burning over there by the basement, that might be why. Lady Steph say Scott is involved in this. I'm convinced. Okay. And quite honestly, you guys, you know, let's just call it thing a thing. We literally watched the sentencing. And when she did, when Melody got found guilty, you know, spoiler alert, right? But we all saw that. Melody got found guilty and she went all scorched earth and blamed it on the son at that sentencing. That's why we said, okay, we got to go back and watch this. So I think it's fair to say at this point in time, with us knowing what happened at the end, I know for me, I am really looking at this and watching it, you know, for the trial for her, but also thinking about the fact of, you know, I wanted to see if the son could be involved. I'm like a dog with a bone on Scott. Okay, you already say let's call Scott. But anyway, still, how did she get him back to the tractor by herself? Right, because he would have been shot downstairs in the basement. And we're going to see the pictures of the stairs and everything. Good question. Some of those little tractors, you can scoop things up. Correct. See, and that's why the pictures of the home and the format and the floor plan is very important. Right, that's a no-no. Well, I forgot what that's about. Yeah, but what was so crucial about getting those rings back on? I guess to look, you know, that's a very good observation. Why y'all think she wanted her to put the rings back on before she started talking to all the authorities? To make her look more like the bereaved spouse, maybe? Good point. Good observation. Mine are off now. I'm just cooking dinner. Baby, you always cooking dinner. I'm going to have to get you to send me a plate. Nope. That is weird. Okay, hold on. Okay. Y'all done took y'all rings out. Okay, wait a minute too. But did she run back while they was investigating death? That's weird. Okay. Yes, because there was no proof that his body was in the basement for wait a minute. Yes, because oh Lord, that I didn't feel okay. I don't know. Okay, hold on. Welcome to the Little Late Jury Box Prayed Up. I'm glad you're here. You're late, but I'm glad to see you. Make sure to tune in to Trial Watch with DEMETRA, the Best Of Show. Monday through Thursday, every night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you happen to miss anything and you want to go back and see it, please check out the playlist. The playlist is named Trial Watch. And also hit the like. Thank you so much. We are currently watching the state of Georgia versus Melody Farris, a true whodunit. Okay, Sorry, that's my messed up typing tonight. So let's get in a minute. She wanted to be weavable. Yeah, pray it up. You may want to because this channel just getting back kicked up. And thank you for being subscribed over here, girl, supporting. You might want to hit the bell, turn it off, and cut it back on, okay? Because it's been a while since I used this channel, and I will be sure to make sure I share it on Lit Lane, okay? Thank you for coming through, and it's already on the playlist. Let me see here. Now we at 1 hour and 43 minutes. I want us to see one part here that's quite interesting, and then we'll leave off and pick up from there for tomorrow. Hold on, let me see. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Now, this is the best of. Everything else in between down fast forwarding, I thought was boring as hell. And not very important as far as the big picture. So this is the next part that I say, okay, oh yeah, the cross-examination, it was boring. They didn't come out with nothing interesting, okay? So we finna go to, after the cross-examination, 2 hours, 30 minutes, now they're gonna have a redirect.
Correct. And so, but you also found some 380 bullets. Do you recall that?
Without looking at the pictures, no, but I remember, I took pictures of multiple different calibers
It's
of ammunition.
cross-examination.
Okay. And you also, and Mr. Fogus had showed
Thank
you
you,
on
Prayed
this
Up.
examination the 32 caliber pistol.
Correct.
All right. And that pistol had the ammunition in it.
It had 6 rounds in it, correct, unfired.
Good point,
Do
Tiki.
you recall finding any specifically 32 caliber ammunition at the scene?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Great point,
Now,
Winter.
38 special. Do you know what kind of bullet was supposedly used in this case?
I've learned after the fact of 38, but I just documenting possibly. I was just documenting what the bullets I found on scene.
At this point in time, when you're actually taking this photograph, you were just documenting it, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, did you find any 38 special handguns in the barn?
No.
So
There was several guns in the barn, the rifles and,
we'll get to that in
and
just a
then
second.
the 32 caliber, but I don't remember a 38.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
So 25, that's just a photograph of a box of 38 special ammunition.
Yes.
So 25, 26 is showing a full. I have no.
Let me pause it right here real quick. Let me pause it. Sidebar. I have to make mention of this. We're going to do a reaction video sometime here soon of an interrogation I watched this weekend. And it was about, and I think I shared it on my Lit Lane wall, about this cop with sticky fingers. And it was so interesting. Stay tuned for that live reaction of exactly what we're talking about. Cops with some light hands, you know what I'm saying? Some sticky fingers. But let's continue with this.
This is State's Exhibit Riley 1. It's a calendar there. You were there, so July 2018. July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You went there July 5th, is that right?
5th and 6th, yes.
All right. Do you know anything about what occurred in the evening of July 3rd?
I do not.
Do you have any idea, or were you involved in the time of death when Gary was shot and killed?
No.
How about on July 4th? Were you there at all?
No, I believe the initial 911 call came out on the 5th, which is for what we're here in court for. So I went out there that night, but I didn't go out there before then.
All right, so July 3rd, July 4th, those 2 days, you didn't know what was going on at the property or anything, right?
No clue, sir.
Did you find the gun that was used in this case?
No.
So it was missing?
Yes.
But you found bullets and things like that in the barn?
Yes.
But there were several days that passed, but no gun was found.
Correct.
And you were asked about things that you found in the barn. Do you know, was there any towels that were wet or in dryers or washer or dryer or anything in the barn?
I don't remember, honestly.
Was there any clothing that looked like it had suit or anything like that in the barn?
In the barn, no.
Any shoes that were wet or other shoes that had possibly blood on them?
In the barn, no.
Sure.
No, not in the barn.
Nothing like that in the barn?
No.
Ms. Francis has a good question. Did you find any blood to the naked eye or anything like that in the barn? Any indication that there was blood there?
No, sir.
Nothing further, John. Yes.
Okay, so they making a point that, you know, he wasn't killed in the barn. Now let's skip over, okay, to this next guy. He's another, this next guy is Sergeant Westworth, okay? And at the 2 hour and 41 minute mark.
Crime scene was there doing some stuff. And then we were.
Actually, it's like, hold on. Okay, so he started, and I want to get to this part right here. Hold on. What is it? 3 hours, 7 minutes. Okay, so let's just listen to this, and we'll end after the at the part I want to make sure y'all hear.
Tasked with different duties. I assisted in the area where the burning pit was, where trash had been burned and where the body had been discovered.
Now, the parties are not arguing over that. Was Gary Ferris was found in the burn pile. So when you got there, from what you knew when you arrived, was this you were there responding to medical emergency, or you were there responding to something more? You responded to the scene. Did you know, hey, this is a criminal investigation? Or this
Right. It was a criminal investigation. First responders had already been out there, secured the scene, and the day shift crimes against personnel were out there, start leading the investigation. So we were called out to assist.
Did you go out to the burn pit?
Yes, sir.
Did you see it?
Yes, sir.
Did you see the remains?
Yes, sir.
Did you see anything at some point that catch y'all's attention?
Yes, sir. When everything had been kind of sectioned off and pieces of the remains were being placed on a table, and there was a section that was identified as a part of the chest cavity, and I saw something that was inconsistent with the rest of the burned and charred material. Looked almost like a pencil eraser in there, and pointed it out to forensics, and it was identified as a projectile from a bullet, from a cartridge.
Dr. Gooding, was she processed in the scene?
Yes, sir. She was there.
Did she put into a grid system?
Yes.
Did you help with any of the systematic search or sifting of the remains?
I helped set up some of the grid off system and removing some of the other brush that was not part of the fire.
Did you work with other detectives? Is it detectives or investigators? I think we say detectives.
At that time, we had different rank structure: investigator, detective, sergeant.
Now that's going to make it really confusing for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to refer to them as detectives.
Yeah, I'm at the
detectives there.
Yes, sir.
Kuykendall, one of them.
Yes, sir, he was.
Did you end up going and looking in the house, the
Let's
main
get
house?
to his wallet.
Yeah.
So I'm putting on the Elmo Westbrook one, which is a
Now this is the wallet for Mr. Ferris they found in the house.
the one that has a light bulb image right there.
Here we go. And then if you zoom in, then it will.
Listen, I'm a lawyer. It's not put it past me now.
If you do the dial on top, it'll zoom in, and then it'll autofocus when it does that.
All right. This appears to be a black leather wallet. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's the wallet. And then what I'm going to do, one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So it definitely wasn't no robbery.
9. Judge, is this a system where you take a picture or snapshot?
You can take a picture.
Judge, do you mind assisting me because I do not know how to do
There's
that.
a button for it. I don't know.
Yeah, if y'all let me know what you're doing before you do it, then we can. A receipt of substance, customer copy. July the 2nd, 2018. Of the receipt, you can see it says 15.
Oh, okay, yeah,
1-1 Park.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, sweetie. Welcome back to the jury box.
So
You're super late,
that
girl.
is one day
I'm glad to see
before
you.
July the 5th, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, also with that, you had, because you had written some reports in this case, right?
Yes, sir.
Right on Westbrook Defense 2. That is also a photograph of the Lake Lanier parking receipt, as well as a receipt of substance, customer copy of something, correct?
Yes, or something Farms and Company, Birmingham Highway.
Okay. You can you see, well, you've actually got it, but you can, I'll zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, you can see it looks like Scottsdale Farms.
Yes, sir.
Okay. July the 2nd, 2018. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Looks like at least this receipt is for $118.51.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Westbrook Defense 3. That is a copy of a bank receipt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wells Fargo bank receipt, to be specific. Is that correct? Wells Fargo?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And let me pull up for us a little better photograph. Okay, that's a check-in, looks like an ATM receipt, right?
Yes, sir.
Where looks like money had been withdrawn, approximately $100.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can also see from that receipt that the available balance, at least in that main, what it actually says main account, is $11,046.85.
Yes, sir.
Now, do you recall your report? Do you have a copy of it?
I don't have it in front of me.
Well,
No,
let
sir.
me ask you first, then you may not need it. In your report, you had listed out things that you had identified, and you had listed out the Lake Lanier Island receipt, AJS pit stop, a MAPCO receipt, and a Fuel City, I'm assuming, receipt. But you didn't list this. Do you recall that?
I don't recall seeing that. No, sir.
Okay.
So why, where about that?
Why do you think you'd leave that?
I don't know, sir.
And just to be clear too, when did you search the car on the 6th?
I believe that's what the ECR says. Yes, sir. The
Okay.
6th.
And did you actually take the physical copies of these receipts into evidence?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay. But you did take the photographs.
No, sir. I didn't take the photographs.
You didn't take but you were there when it was searched.
I was there when it was searched. Yes, sir.
Okay. But that's what your report says, is that you searched the car.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You also did one other thing. You interviewed a woman named Angela Phillips. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was Gary
Here we
Phillips,
go.
his former secretary.
Administrative assistant. Yes, sir.
Okay. And I believe it was you and Detective Kuykendall
Yes, sir.
interviewed her. And y'all did that interview down at Burr and Foreman offices.
Yes, sir.
And that interview was, I think it was audio and video recorded, correct?
I believe it was audio, but not video. No,
Okay.
sir.
Do you recall whether or not, did you interview Ms. Phillips anymore or only that one time?
I don't recall talking to her again. I remember interviewing there during that session, but I don't recall talking to her again.
Okay. And you had, I believe you interviewed her around the 11th, right?
Yes, sir.
With Kuykendall.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And her demeanor when you told her what had happened is that she was extremely upset, correct?
That's what I documented.
Okay.
I don't really recall a whole lot about the
Say what?
interview. I don't recall
You
a
got a
whole lot
deep
of,
voice.
I don't recall a whole lot about the interview as far as her demeanor and stuff, but I do remember documenting and just using some of that information.
Okay, and because Detective Kuykendall was actually kind of lead on that, right?
I was doing a forensic victimology
Yes.
of Mr. Farris, and Kuykendall accompanied me to do that.
Okay. All right, just one second. Actually, let me approach you, get those photographs real quick from you. One thing, during the interview that you had with Ms. Phillips, do you recall her establishing that she had had an ongoing affair with Gary Farris?
What?
During that interview?
Yes.
No, sir.
Not during that interview?
Not during that interview, no, sir.
Okay. Since you had searched the Toyota, what we'll call Melody's car,
Mhm.
did you not also search Gary's car, the Mercedes?
I don't recall. Honestly, I know they were there. I listed the
It's
the
been
cars
6 years,
in
y'all.
the report. But I don't have a memory of that.
Okay. And you don't recall, because we have no photographs of Gary's car. Do you recall you or anybody else taking any photograph of Gary's Mercedes?
Not in my presence that I recall, no, sir.
Okay. No further questions, Judge.
That's right. Can I see your photographs?
Yeah. I'll put them up there.
So that's what I wanted y'all to hear, right? Because Angela Phillips she even made the move from Tennessee to Georgia way back all them years ago to open up this new firm location. Now we find out they had
The
had
floor
a
that you're
affair.
looking at on the screen. You see that?
Yes, sir.
So the victim his hands wasn't clean as far as marital bliss, trust, and fidelity.
Read into the record for me the customer card number. Don't worry about all the X's, just the numbers after that.
The last four digits are 0078.
You have any idea whose card that is or where it came from?
Not off the top of my head, sir. No, sir.
Any idea where that card was found during the investigation?
Not that I know of. It may have been one of the ones in the wallet. I don't know. I have to look at my notes to see.
Look at Westbrook.
Indeed. So where was this card found there with that $11,000 balance? I wonder what they found with the son. Child, let me listen to find out.
What's this right here? Isn't it? But I'm looking for one in particular. And this is, there it is, Westbrook D2. Can you make out on this one the last four digits on this receipt?
0078.
You might well leave them glasses on, sir. I don't remember what they
For the
found.
record, I'm going to mark the photographs of the wallet and the cards as Westbrook 2 and Westbrook 3, intimidation evidence.
Okay.
And we'll mark those when I get some exhibit stickers.
Already got those down here?
Yes, Judge.
Wow, that's impressive.
Okay.
I believe that's all I have for you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank
Sir, because
read
you
that
had
right.
stated on cross that you were doing a victimology.
Let's finish this
Yes.
with you.
Okay. And that victimology was about Gary. Okay. And because I've got kind of your report on that, it's just really just a couple paragraphs, right?
The report, yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So You went as part of that to talk to Angela Phillips,
Yes, sir.
Gary's secretary for 30 years.
Administrative assistant. Yes, sir.
Okay. How did you know to go talk to her? Who did you learn that information from?
I don't recall off the top of my head. I know that Sergeant Hands asked me to do the victimology report.
Okay.
And then somewhere in our discussions, it may have been with him and Kuykendall to go down there and to interview her, but I don't remember who said that to me.
Okay. So you don't recall where you learned it, but eventually somehow you learned it and you went to go talk to her.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you also aware that Angela Phillips had moved here in 1995 along with Gary?
Yes, sir.
And Melody and the children?
Yes, sir.
Did you not think in that interview, or did you ask her about whether or not her and Gary had ever had an affair before when you interviewed her?
I don't remember asking the specific question. I do remember writing in my report that there was no indication at that time that there'd been an affair.
You can say that last part again?
There was no indication at that time that there'd been an affair between Gary Farris and Angela Phillips.
Okay. Were you at the interview where Ms. Phillips admitted that there had been some type of affair later on?
No, sir, I wasn't in that interview. I was informed that, I think, by Detective Hayes.
Okay. But you weren't informed of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No further questions.
Did you ever think for one moment that Angela had anything to do with the killing?
No, sir.
Did you know whether or not that affair was at that time or way in the past?
When I was informed about it later on, I was told that she had said that they had just decided at that time that it was inappropriate and they'd cut it off.
Right. Was that at the time or in the past?
In the past.
Okay. But nothing makes you think she's a suspect in this, has anything to do with this, has any motive related to her whatsoever, right?
No, sir.
All right, you can sit down. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Probably a good
All
time
right,
for us to break for
so-
lunch.
And it's
All
time for us to
right.
break for the night. And there you have it, part 2. So I'm about to put the poll up. Hold on. I got it already open. So, oh shoot. One moment. Let me work this out. Okay, so tomorrow I'll be more ready to do the poll because I forgot I can't do the poll from my phone. So, with that being said, let's get tonight's interesting testimony points. Okay, so from tonight, we heard from the two the EMT that was first there. We heard from a couple of CSIs, and we just heard from a different investigator. What was the takeaways from tonight, you guys? What was impactful? What stood out to y'all? You know what I'm saying? To me, it would be the fact that I'm not convinced about that farm equipment. The weirdest thing to me is absolutely about those bank records, those financial records in the boring trash. And it seemed like y'all talking a lot about what is the motive. What would be the defendant's motive? So far, y'all not seeing one. The paperwork, me too. And I think we did a lot of talk about the means of how she would get it done. How could she do it alone? We talked a lot about that. Hey, Starbell, welcome to the Lit Lane. Jury box, the farm equipment, the candle, the motive. Oh, the candle. And let's say bleach too. And I'm also put down, it was interesting about that one speck of blood on the tractor. And it wasn't even in the bucket, right? It was on the footstep thing, right? On the footstep. Tiki say no clear description. We still don't have we don't have any type of clear description of how this murder was supposed to be committed. And we also find out right now tonight about Angela Phillips, long term. I'm talking about over 20 years, long term personal secretary. And affair. Teaspoon of blood. Yep. And I got the bleach written down. Oh, yeah. The 911 call. We found that 911 call very suspicious. Okay. So I'll put that on our notes, to say the things in case, so when we deliberate, we can come back and think about different things and see if we change our mind about some stuff and all of that. Okay. So I'll be keeping my notes and records for that. But it's been a good night tonight. We got through the testimony, the best of. Tomorrow, just a sneak peek. Tomorrow we actually start with the adult children. So we moving right along. Okay. So tomorrow, the first person that's going to come to the stand is going to be Melody Thrasher. Oh, wait. No. We're going to do one more CSI, a couple of points there. It was boring, but, and then the witness to be on the lookout for tomorrow is one of the neighbors, a ranch contractor. His testimony is very good and interesting. We're gonna get a lot of information. And then the first adult child, which is gonna be Christopher. Okay. So that's what we have in store for tomorrow night. Okay. Now, just a heads up that tomorrow during the day, in the morning, for you guys who want to listen while y'all at work or what have you, I will start doing a live reaction and watch of, it's not the actual trial, but it's the pre-trial. It's a hearing that's going on right now in a big case in Florida. It is the so the daytime trial watch starts officially tomorrow. It's not a trial, it's a hearing, but I then got caught up in it. I watched today and it's like on day 2 or 3. So we're going to start with day 1. It's the Jarvis Butts trial down in Florida, I do believe. Now, trigger alert for that particular trial that we're going to be watching during the daytime. It does involve a 13-year-old girl, Naziah Harris, and the defendant, the accused, Jarvis Butts, is accused of unaliving her, and that 13-year-old girl had actually he accused of having a inappropriate relationship with her, and also she was pregnant at the time, and also the victim, Janiyah Unalive, is basically his niece. He married to her auntie. Okay, and I watched that interrogation last year. It's very interesting. It's gonna be a big trial, so we're gonna start watching that. Okay, what about around what time? I'm gonna probably come on around with that around 11 or noonish. Okay, mid, like afternoon. Probably, I don't want to give a specific time, but around 11 or 12. I will schedule it. Okay, I will schedule it. But it's very interesting. I have watched, and what I will do is I will go ahead and post on this community wall. I will post the interrogation for the daytime trial we're going to start tomorrow. It's a hearing. Okay. So, Sorbel, you say this was very interesting case. You talk about the one we're watching now, the FARRIS trial, and I was not convinced that she killed him. Right. I'm not convinced either. We watched the sentencing, so we know she got found guilty, Sorbel, and we also know that she accused her son at the sentencing of having committed this murder, right? So that's why we decided to watch this trial. That's why we're watching it, so we can see for ourselves who we believe. Okay. So, yes. So we're going to have 2 trials going on. No, I didn't say I was gonna start today with the day trial. I had just figured out that I was gonna start covering that during the daytime. I'm definitely starting tomorrow because I'm very interested in it and I want to see the first parts. And I said I'll wait for y'all. So you guys have a great night. We got a lot of content coming tomorrow, both here and on Lit Lane. Court is now adjourned. Well, I must have forgot to say tomorrow. Girl, I'm going to be there tomorrow. I promise. Because it's just too interesting, right? And this is my first time going to be watching the hearings. All right. Until we meet again, court is adjourned. Good night.
Thanks for watching. Do not forget click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Like, comment and share. See you next time.